Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to a Let's Play of Hearts of Iron 4 playing as the United Kingdom, pushing into Germany over here. We've captured Berlin and it is November 1941, so I'm very intrigued at what point the Soviet Union is going to potentially jump into this attack. Germany is still holding out and they're not doing too badly, I have to say, all things considering. So we are sending over 400 bombers basically into each of these regions. Some of them even 800 bombers. They are hurting for supplies and industry. So yeah, we're going to resume the game over here, see whether we can identify a weak link here in the German lines. We've just finished up clearing a couple of units over there, so our units are mostly getting into position. So are the Germans, but for now there doesn't seem to be any specific advantage on our side. So you know what we could do is we could actually go with the staff office planning here for the Green Army, which of course is the Third Army, so that these guys do get preparation bonuses a little bit faster than they otherwise would, and maybe be able to expel some of these Germans here quite quickly. And you know what, I think, well, do we want to attack now? It would be easy to dislodge these guys here, but I do think it would be, maybe we can just wait a moment over here, see whether we can't attack into this direction first, see whether we can get a little bit more bonuses there, and that would be fantastic. Now you guys are getting a lot of bonus per day here. And one of our agents has been captured. That's not great, because that means potentially our guys over here, you guys are being progressed. So, well, I think that's because Virginia over here has been captured. So that's not necessarily great, but we'll have to see what we can do about that. Now the battle over here against the Japanese, Singapore is still holding fine. And we do have some forces here in Hong Kong now, a single division for now, but I think we are sending another division over here via the land route. And these guys are going to get there quite quickly, so that's nice. And you know what, the Canadians are going to send us a little bit of stuff. In another development, some Allied forces have landed down here in the area around Corinth, so that's nice to see, especially if they could get Athens. That would be more than fantastic. I think these Axis forces down here are doomed, so that's pretty nice to see. We are still hurting on fuel though, so we might actually buy yet more fuel. I mean, we are already spending such an extraordinary amount here on these guys, so this is a little bit disheartening, but what can we do? Right, what we can do though is I think start some of these attacks here. So I would very much like to break through over here. The thing is, we don't really have sort of a natural attack line that we could go for, and that would make life a lot easier for us. So you know what, I think what we might want to do then is simply push against these guys over here, have these guys attack. These guys are going to join up as well, so that we are pretty much overwhelming them with superior fire, and you know, just destroying their equipment and getting them down. Now, November, let's talk a little bit about history as we usually do over here. Really? Guys, what's going on? Can you just not all die? That'd be fantastic if not all of you died at the same time. Jesus, this is slightly dramatic turn of events here. You know, can we prepare this here? We can, but only at the cost of delaying this other mission. So yeah, let's see whether this is going to go ahead immediately or whether there's some issue with this. Right. Okay, we have captured that area over here. That's nice to see. You guys are now counter-attacking, and you know what? We can counter-attack the counter-attack. Well, we might also want to push up against these guys over here. And I think it would be okay if we are sending in enough troops like that. And then these guys will shortly be able to support that as well. So let's take these guys, attack here. Have you guys attack into there. And support this white attack here into this area. Yeah, that's nice to see. Oh, that wasn't actually the British. It was the other guys there. That's nice. Right, okay, let's grab these cavalry units. Let's try to advance into here. Maybe into Küstrin, cross the river, going into Poznan. And maybe freeing up a little bit of Poland. Poland is a little bit weird because they are actually down there and they're holding out there quite nicely. Okay, Athens doesn't seem to go anywhere. And these guys here are starting to see some attrition due to the fact that they don't really have a harbour, which is not nice. So That attack down there might not be going anywhere really. So let's see what's going to happen over there. But this here is a fairly nice attack, I think. Some of these German guys over here do have very low equipment, and that's nice to see. Okay, you're being attacked over here, but why do you suffer so badly? Well, because our organization is quite low. I think we'll be alright, though. I think we'll be alright. As more troops come in over here, yeah, we are defending quite nicely. And that is good enough, I think. Right. Let's attack over here into Stettin, try to get behind the river, build a nice little coastline over here, defensive line over here. And that should be okay, good. You know what? You guys can attack into this flank here. See whether we can find a weakness in their line while they're attacking over here. And that would be fantastic. Also, it would be fantastic if you guys here moved over to Kustrin right away after this attack. If you want, one of these guys is going to attack into the south over here. See whether we can just expand the front line. Disorganize the German lines a little bit, and that would be fantastic. Siam joins. That's not great, because that might mean that you guys are very soon going to attack us. And that is a problem. So that does mean basically that all of you guys over here, you guys should be part of a defensive front line against this area there. And you know what? We're going to take... Okay, you're just some other division. Okay, that's alright. Yeah, we will need to be mindful about that. Japanese destroyer sunk over here for the first time. I don't think we have seen that before. Ooh, and here is the actual entirety of the British Navy with a couple of destroyers on our side lost. That's not great. But of course, all in all, that doesn't seem to be going too bad. Now, what I want to do though is I'm probably going to withdraw the forces that we have operating in this vicinity. So you guys definitely do not operate in the South Chinese Sea anymore, please. That'd be fantastic. Good. Right, back to the Germans. Things are going quite well over here, I have to admit. So how about you guys go down here as well? So again, expand on their disorganization over here. Try to disrupt them as much as possible, and see what we can do about that. Right, you guys are attacking over there. That's fantastic. You guys are alright over here. Let's try to pin these guys down. I think we're not going to get anywhere, but it's going to be alright if we can just really try to make sure that things are going okay from our perspective over here. You guys are okay. You know what? Let's all attack into this area down here, and that should be okay. And you guys are going towards Poznan. I don't think you'll be getting there, but we just might try, and that is going to be alright. Another air base over here, then maybe down there into Breslau. At least we have crossed the river over here, so that's already a nice success. And you guys are okay over here. You have pinned them down. They're going to try to outflank us over here, but that's going to be alright too. And you know what? You can stop your attacks over here because they just evidently are not going anywhere. That's alright, good. And you know what? Let's attack one more attack vector there. That's fine. That does mean we can probably cut these guys off here, and that would be fantastic too, because it would just be so much better if we could do that. So you know what? Let's actually try to do that. Let's shift these guys here to the north and see whether we can circle around over there. And while I do that, I'm going to make another attempt here to talk about history, because 1941, the end of 1941, is again a kind of an interesting time for Bomber Command, as we have been seeing so far. So, as you might remember from last time, mid of 1941 is an extremely unfortunate time for Bomber Command, because they started out the war pretty early, very confidently, or at least the year they started, 1941, feeling quite confident that they could really turn the war. They were doing fine, and then that Butt report came out, which basically told everyone that not only did they have some problems with simple, let's say, targeting, so they weren't really hitting what they are trying to hit, but they didn't even find what they were supposed to hit. So even of these people who were supposedly attacking any given target at any given time, basically no one actually did that because they had too many troubles navigating to any of these targets in the first place. And that basically meant that Bomber Command, that was the low point of the war for Bomber Command from the British side. They were really feeling that everything was not quite lost, but very nearly so. So things really weren't great. And the later part of 1941 then is a time when, we can maybe capture Danzig here. Of course, the reason for the war in the first place. And they really started to feel like maybe this bomber command thing was overall a mistake, and you know, this is the second crisis of bomber command. The first being, of course, in late 1939, when they actually discovered that they couldn't really progress only with bombers without fighter support, and they really had to switch to night bombing. At that point they could have dropped the entire idea of bomber command in the first place. They didn't do that then, and they didn't do so in 1941. What they did in 1941 is they built up basically two ideas. They built up the idea of an electronic navigation device that had been around for a while, so that's not something entirely new, but it is something that for the first time is being really pushed very aggressively now. And that of course does make perfect sense, because this is the time where you really need that, when you discover that you cannot navigate over Germany simply by the stars and by landmarks. You really do need some sort of electronic navigation, especially if you're flying over Germany at night. So this is the first thing that they do, and they prioritize that. But it is going to take a while for that to become widely available and very useful, at least. So 1941, they realize, is not going to be their time. It's going to be available only in 1941, 42, and therefore 1941 is a time when they actually kind of surprising calm, you might actually say, from Bomber Command, and especially November, December didn't have the best weather in the first place. So in these years, Bomber Command does really basically sit down, and they don't really do anything for the first time in the war. So that's kind of funny to see. But by the way, let's do keep an eye on the situation down here, because there just might be some opportunity to break through over here. Yeah, not quite, but at some point you might. Right, let's concentrate on the north over here, on the Danzig area, because it's just so nice to capture quite a bit of this territory. Okay, you know what? Let's try to cut this guy off immediately. And that'd be fantastic. Yeah, there we go. You're being attacked now, but there you go. Overrun. And then let's try to go along the coastline here into Danzig. Everyone else is going to shift up as well, so that's very nice to see here. Also, these attacks are going nowhere, so that's definitely nice. Although we are definitely seeing some winter weather here now in Poland. So you know what, let's actually try to attack here on this front, see whether we can push into Germany a little bit more here, and that might be nice. Oh, we can modify government over here, and one of the things that we might want to do is change our advisors and our designers, because we have got the Avro company, which did design of course for the Lancaster. We could go for the heavy Lion, which would give us a big boost to our heavy fighters and to our tactical bombers, and that might be very nice indeed, because historically the Mosquito was one of the best British planes. The British in general did have excellent fighters throughout World War II, and really not that great bombers until later in the war, and that is one of the developments that historically happened in 1941, that they were waiting for the 4-engine bombers and for the navigation device. At first the G device, which would give them some ability, simply a little bit of what the Germans did before, simply by triangulating, so by having two stations in the United Kingdom emitting signals, and sort of bombers flying over Germany and having some reference point towards that. The issue why they didn't introduce that quite early, even though they maybe could have, is they were a little bit reluctant and thought that the Germans could be relatively easily capable of jamming that type of signal, which probably was correct, although the Germans never really got up to the same standards in electronic warfare as the United Kingdom had done. Right, are you guys advancing? Yeah, you seem to be, so that's good to see. We are taking some casualties there, but overall it seems to be okay. Right, let's try to preempt them over here. We can't quite make it to Danzig, but we are sending further infantry over here. Our cavalry did advance a little bit too far, maybe. Right, we have got a couple of we've got a tank division over here. Let's see whether we can overwhelm these guys and maybe destroy them a little bit. Now these guys have extremely low health, so I think that might be viable. Alright, let's make another push here on Danzig while you guys are trying to defend. We are attacking into this area here as well, so let's try to support that attack whenever possible. More naval battles against the Japanese. Yep, more submarines sunk. Definitely nice to see. Front line seems to be not quite getting closer, but definitely being a little bit close for comfort. Nevertheless, we've got now 2 divisions over here in Hong Kong. And you know what we could do? So we could actually ask you guys here to train up, and I think that could work, because I don't really want to have the green guys sitting over there. Siam over here, you guys seem to be fine. Let's try to at least define an offensive line so that you're building up some know-how in that regard. How's Greece looking? Okay, so basically you've got the Peloponnese down here covered, and basically the axis is probably gonna collapse here. Athens, you really do need Athens, otherwise without the harbour there I think you're going to be in trouble. Ooh, on the other hand, it seems like you have landed in Albania. Who is that? Who did the actual landing over here? Greece? Really? Is that Greece? No, this is Netherlands. My oh my, the Dutch landing in Albania, cutting off the Germans there. And notice that one thing that we did is we sent out a couple of bombers over here over the Balkans to disrupt, in this case, not so much the industry, but as you can see, we are mostly targeting the infrastructure over here. And that should mean that, oh yeah, you can see that the infrastructure here is very, very bad for the Axis. And that does mean they're not quite as capable as at fielding a lot of troops down here. And that is probably helping us out by a huge amount, so that is very nice. Good, yeah, that defense over there seems to be going pretty well, as is this attack against these guys over there. Let's wait here for a second with you. Try to defend there in the first place. Okay, you guys are also supporting that defense. Wait a minute, this down here looks like an opportunity for an attack, so let's try to use that. Okay, you can't attack from here, but you guys can potentially support that attack at the very least. So yeah, let's okay, let's ignore the cavalry for now, and you know what, you guys are going to support. There we go. That should give us some pause over there. You guys are defending well. You guys are doing okay over here, and we've got some Americans joining, so that's definitely nice to see. Let's try to get you to Danzig again, and that might be okay. Right, how about our operatives? So we are making resistance contact. So this is not going to go anywhere, right? Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's ignore this here for the moment, and let's actually try to rescue our captured operatives. So that is indeed something that we definitely do need to do. And I think, well, basically all of you guys are fine. So let's take you, and let's prepare this and commence it whenever we're ready. That's going to be alright. Good, okay. We've pushed them out a little bit over here, but not really that much. So, yeah. It's not the best result. Let's try to make a push into here. Maybe that is going to go anywhere. It really doesn't seem to be. Okay, you know what? Let's stop this. This is a waste of our men. We do have some manpower available, but we don't really have the infantry equipment and all of that. So let's do make sure that we are not exposing our men without need. Right, I think this is going to be okay. We are going to push up until Danzig, I believe. And then we're going to see. Maybe we're going to get the town, maybe we won't. We don't know exactly. But for now, they seem to be okay. At least we would then be able to defend along this river line. And that should make things a lot easier. It's also nice to get a little bit into Poland. Firstly, because that hasn't really been bombed so far. And secondly, ooh, you guys are fine over here. So, you know what, let's try to get over the river and on the other side of that. So that would be fantastic. Good. You know what, you guys are doing that. So let's try to get to Königsberg. Modern day Kaliningrad. Okay, you guys are all okay over here. Seems to be an okay target. You know what, let's push up over here. I think this is something where you can conduct a proper attack at least. Overwhelm them a little bit over there. Disrupt them. Keep them off balance. That is definitely what I like to do. Good. Yeah, this is not quite going fine over there, but just maybe we're going to be able to hold that. Okay, we have made it over here. That's already kind of nice. And I think what we could do is try to attack over here so that we are continuing to disrupt them in this area here. That might be fine. Yeah, and if we can defend over here, if these guys are joining in, which is not quite clear before these guys are collapsing, that would be mighty fine, but we aren't capable of doing that. Okay, that's unfortunate. Right, let's send the infantry back in. You guys are going over there. That's okay too. Let's try to really encircle them over here. That would be fantastic. Okay, you guys are going in there. That's okay. Let's try to support this attack by just as much stuff as we have. You guys basically all try to get over here, please. Okay, and down here we are not going anywhere. Okay, so we do need to stop this. Stop it. Bulgaria has joined the Axis, and not a big surprise, but Athens still holding out. Guys, you really do need to capture this, otherwise your supply is going to... Ooh, there we go, come on. Still not. Now they have it, and I think they're not going to lose it. So that's fine, because that will mean their supplies down there are going to go up dramatically, and that is a very nice result for them. Our fuel situation still not going great. And you know what, I think up over here we can stop this attack. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately. That being said, what we can do is try to attack over here and overwhelm them on that front, because they only have a single division over here, and that should be more than easy to take out in that there. So right, let's get over here. Come on, you'll be able to do that. Can I just grab one of you guys, attack over here? You guys are going to attack into there as well, and you guys are going to support that. Right, that should be possible, right? Right, this guy's dropping out all of the time, so that's not great, but we're gonna see. Any other particularly weak link? Okay, you guys down here need to stop. You're taking too many losses there. Right, how about logistics? Yeah, infantry equipment. Things are really not looking great now. So we do need to pause a little bit over here. See whether we can recapture a little bit of equipment and a little bit of our stuff. So I do think we need to go back and increase the infantry equipment that we need. But maybe, just maybe, it's going to be alright. Manila has fallen to the Japanese. Not good news at all. So yeah, let's see what we can do about that. Right, and you guys stop over here. I think we just need to prepare our offensive line here a little bit more. It is also winter, so this is traditionally not the very best time to attack at all. Good. Right, I think what we could do is we can take the Green Army over here, and we can define another front line. That is going over here and then going into that area here. And this we can delete. This is silly. Okay, right. Okay, green guys, you're all part of this now. Do shift around over there. And let's attack into the Saxony area. So you're going to shift over there. That's going to be alright. And, ooh, landward fortifications in Hong Kong. So that's definitely good. So where's that? Over here. So we can do air defenses. So that would add more air bases, which would be fine. Infantry equipment, definitely a high priority for us. Not that many of these other things, I think. Amphibious warfare, well, it's nice, but it's not crucial. War with Japan, influence China, all of these things are useful, but really not that required. Up over here, I think we've done pretty much everything. We can do a Benelux intervention. That would give us a declaration of war power against the Low Countries, which really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Can develop our allies, which is nice, but not critical. I mean, ultimately the Imperial Conference there might be nice, the Carrier Focus, the Destroyer Focus, all of these are useful things. But really, do we need any of this? Do we? Destroyer Focus, Light Hull. I mean, we've got the Light Cruiser modifier, so that's already nice. You know what? Let's go for the BSA company here for a little bit more of infantry equipment, which we desperately need because we are shy on that. So yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Right, so again, historically a time when Bomber Command pretty much rested up and didn't really do anything, but more or less just waited for... Ooh, look at this. The Dutch East Indies are being invaded by Japan over here, so we do need to shift some forces down here and potentially deal with these guys. I mean, even the two divisions here in Hong Kong are nice and all, but probably not going to be the most useful thing, especially as we can now see that some of these Chinese guys here are now defending against some Japanese incursions. That being said, I think Hong Kong is doing relatively fine. Yeah, you've got some land fortifications now, you've got a little bit of naval base. So all in all, this seems to be an okay area for now. But Singapore, I would not like to lose. So the question is, where do we have any troops? I mean, facing off against Italy are a couple of troops, which probably don't need to be here. You know what, let's grab these guys over here and let's assign it towards the overseas defense. So that means you're going to get over there. And I would very much like you to... Are these ports here capable of supporting us? Potentially not. Batavia has been captured. Okay, let's try at least to assign you towards over here. And let's try to get you there. Some of you are gonna sail over there and that should be okay. I don't expect too many difficulties in that regard. We still have enough of forces over here, so that I think should not be a problem. Yeah, and that is the first shift that we're gonna make towards that direction. Lots of Germans over here in Saxony and Hesse, I think. So yeah, let's see how that is going to go. Right. How about our research? So 2 days until we've got firefighting drills. That's nice. Better infantry equipment is also in the pipeline, as is lower supply consumption, which is also going to be useful, I believe. Now one thing I think that we might want to do is we might want to get logistics companies, because that would allow us to do... No, sorry, is it maintenance? Yeah, it's maintenance. Getting some equipment that we capture, that would be extremely useful. 120 days, you know what, let's do it. We are not generally focusing on that, so that's going to be okay. Decisions that we can take, so let's have a look at that. Close the hump. No, I don't think we're going to do that. That's going to be okay. We are going to keep on supplying the Japanese if we can at all. We are developing some of these oil fields here. That's nice. We can't develop this one because we don't have enough free civilian military factories. So that is unfortunate, but I think given our trade and all of that, we can't really change that. So that's going to be okay-ish. Germany is starting to look a little bit thinly spread on some of these lines, but not too much. So I think we just might do some sporadic attacks over here. Let's try to fall in line over here, just push them out. And I think we are, you know, we've got 10 divisions against 4. They are dug in quite well, but I think we are okay over here. What other decisions can we take? Yeah, war propaganda. I don't really care about that though. I mean, our war support is at 100%. Jesus! We are still not winning this fight over here, even though we are sending in that many forces. So yeah. Basically, a little bit of a standstill here over winter. Nothing too drastic, but some of these green troops here might also be pushing into that direction. I think a combined offensive here just might be capable of overwhelming them, simply because it's going to happen on a very broad front. But again, I don't want to do that in winter time, so yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Right, and as we are entering into 1942, we are seeing that the Germans are being pushed back here in Italy. Allies are making some good progress. They are holding out in Albania, so that's nice to see. Northern Italy is still standing strong, but they have got a lot of good fortifications there, so not that much that we can do. And Japan, of course, is an issue now, as is the fuel that we are burning over here. This is pretty drastic in terms of our fuel consumption, honestly. So yeah, we do need to be slightly concerned about that. Infiltration assault, that's going to be super useful, but I think the most important one is night assault tactics over here. That is going to be super helpful, I think. Right, yeah, we don't have enough infantry equipment, I know, but I can't just wish it. We do need to build it. Right, that being said, I think this is a perfectly fine place to put in a cut. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do let me know what you think we should do against the Germans over here. Especially the, this stuff over here just doesn't seem to go too well for us. And I think We are commencing this, right? Are not currently available. Why are you not currently available? I think you should be. Are you making the resistance contacts? Okay, you are building a network. Okay, let's sign you. Let's then commence this. So that we should get all of these people, and then we should have our operatives back, and that's going to be nice and fantastic. Good. You know what we're going to do? We are going to, just before we end here, going to change it to the heavily end, because they are going to give us a very nice heavy fighter, and that is going to be super useful once we've researched this. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you around next time. Bye bye, guys.